You don't need an invitation. I already know what you're saying. I love a little conversations, and I don't want you to go changing. Cause girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. I hope that you just feel it all too. Cause girl, you're comfortable, let's go. Feels so good just when I roll through. And I just think it's so crazy what you do to me. Girl, you're the baddest thing, you know that. And I really need you to show it. So turn around, let me get you on the cold. Girl, you're just so comfortable. We don't spend time hesitating. And I wouldn't say we're crazy in love. I would just say we're crazy enough. Cause girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. I hope that you just feel it all too. Cause girl, you're comfortable, let's go. Feel so good just when I roll through. And I just think it's so crazy what you do to me. Girl, you're the baddest thing, you know it. And I really need you to show it. So turn around, let me get you on the cold. Slow it down. Jeans on when we hit the town. We don't really care who's around. But baby, I'm with you if you gon' be down. Cause girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. You just feel it out, you're just so comfortable. Cause girl, you're comfortable. It just feel so good just when I roll through. I just think it's so crazy what you do to me. Girl, you're the baddest thing, you know that.
okay, getting the first pick. Oh, get 3, Pyro, get 3 with the
Void Kid putting on a clinic. Whole team's down. Oh!
Experience tranquility.
Hello everybody, I hope that your day, night, whenever you decide to watch this broadcast has been doing excellent, because we here at Tranquility want to make sure that you have not something full of competitiveness, but rather fun and smiles. As I, username_Intel here, joined by Mr. Ty Gold Munster, we are here with the Harmony All-Stars, and Ty, how excited are you for this?
Ty Gold, like... Where did the gold come from in there?
Just naming out ELOs here, you know?
Alright, listen, it was GM game. You can let it go, user. It's not that important, but...
He's thinking so hard, but...
I'm actually having not a great day, but I'm feeling good, so, you know, it doesn't really matter how good my day is going as long as I'm feeling alright at the end of it. And like you said, Tranquility. Yeah, it is Tranquility. What is wrong with Harmony All-Stars. We're doing Harmony All-Stars. What is wrong with me right now?
I think you need to take your second here. Let me catch the viewers up for what's been happening. Obviously, we just had our grand finals. We've got a bunch of champions out, and you know they're having their great days. They're having fun. So, just to give everyone a little bit of break as the season kind of starts to wrap, we're letting players, especially those who got MVP votings or got close, whether it be most improved, best hit scan, got in that tier, you know, they're going to be able to play tonight. You'll see people such as Shobi, QZY, Gag, Chloroform. There are a lot of players here, each on their own teams, and for now at least, it's going to be standard 6v6, and later on as we go, we may get GOATs, we may get small Overwatch, you know, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight.
We will get GOATs, and to my knowledge, let me double check, because we've been provided by the excellent booth the rule set for tonight. Maps 1 and 2 will be your standard, regular Overwatch. You know, you're going to be clicking on the bad guys, you're going to be holding up your rectangles, stuff like that, regular Overwatch. Map 3 will be King's Row GOATs, standard GOATs only, none of this Moira, none of this Sombra baloney, going straight in for the throat, not Moira, I just said not Moira, but Lucio Briggs and Ryan's Diva Zarya, El Clasico, you might say. Map 4, experimental patch. If I don't see at least 2 Lucio frags, I will cry myself to sleep. And map 5 will be every player on a certain role in the lobby, like map. It will be Lijiang Tower, we will see Garden, all DPS, Control Center, everybody's on tank, and on Night Market, we're going to have the torture of watching 12 healers duke it out.
Honestly, I think each one is different, and I have like a different prayer for each one, because I definitely agree with you with that experimental. I really want to see some of those memes come out so we can post those on the Twitter, be able to shout you out by saying you managed to get a 6k in a Lucio sound barrier boop, which is still absolutely insane.
What a world we live in where Lucio can get a 6k with his ultimate.
Yeah, that's something that would have been more creative than the Diva remake ability, you know? I think that's something a little bit more skillful.
Yeah, don't even get me into it. Like, I the moment it came out, the first time I tried it, I had this sick rollout from Spawn on Oasis, just bonked a Reinhardt on the head and left. It's the most fun I've had in this game in years. It's amazing. But, I mean, map 1, like I said, normal Overwatch. We're going into Rialto. What do you think these memers are going to be doing? Why am I asking you that? I'm color.
Yeah, I don't know why. That's your exact job, and you're just giving me the space.
Good luck.
Either way, at least on the bright side, we get a sense of how these players are going to work, and on each different game, there is going to be at least side switches. Well, not side switches necessarily, but people are gonna be coming in and out. We're gonna be seeing some trades. So if you don't see somebody in that you know should be playing on map 1, wait for map 2, because first map is gonna be Rialto, and you did ask, you know, thinking that we're working in our usual sense of, yeah.
I forgot to mention our gimmick for tonight is that Smoke will be our first person joining us whenever we get him into this VC. Smoke will be joining us. We'll watch
Ooh.
the game. We get to talk to him just so everybody's, and he's here.
Smoke!
Hello, Smoke.
Hi.
Oh, well, what a grand entrance. How do you feel tonight, Smoke?
I'm great.
Ready for battle.
That's good. I'm glad.
Thanks.
I need you to ask the first question so I can ask the question. You're the one who lead us in
Well,
here.
I was hoping he would have a more exaggerated, response.
No.
Just hi
Ask
and
it.
good. But how do you feel after that incredible 4-0 sweep in the grand finals?
It was very anticlimactic, I thought. We were so before this we were thinking we were going to lose to Frostnova, but then as scrims came up to that game, we started destroying everyone. So we were like, okay, now let's go, and we just forward, and it was just nice. So
5, 4, 3.
I mean, two teams winning, in you got the Harmony team and the Discord team being from the same org, if I'm not mistaken. Both. Yeah, so that's a really impressive thing for you guys. Big congratulations for you guys.
thank you.
Definitely agree. I don't really have anything, so I'd rather hope that you stayed tuned in because the match has just started. So you're basically free to enjoy your night.
Thanks.
I'm gonna put all the pressure on my shoulders.
Yeah, you're the one who asked questions here, not my job. My job is just to be playing back what's going on.
Oh yeah, sure. Just give me the hard stuff while you get the easy. But I mean, can I criticize the comps for a second? Why are they on Ana BAP specifically? I have said so many times how much I hate this. I think it's targeted straight for me.
Well, I can definitely agree, though it does seem that the Double Shield is having a lot of issues controlling out on the map. Losing out onto Mr. Yeti is going to get you a suspension in the league, but look at this, Gak is going to be popping out the window, looking to do a little bit more DPS on their side. As much as they're being able to pump in that damage, it's just not enough as Turtles just helps come in, puts in the shield, and there's not much you can do. The Nano Shatter may be a little rude, but they don't really have anything else.
Yeah, I mean, just good defense so far. But, it's also a very good push. Feels very, very equal in that sense. And so Smoke, you obviously throughout your entire regular season, you went completely lossless. How many maps did you guys lose throughout the whole season?
Counting preseason 4, not counting preseason 2.
And that's in the playoffs.
Also,
you only lost 2 games.
Yeah.
That's
Not counting the forfeit, of course.
Oh yeah, obviously, that's not losing maps, it's just losing a series, but that's just absolutely ridiculous. Losing two maps. You thought you were gonna lose Frostnova and you ended up 4-0ing them, I'm guessing?
Yeah, because things were not going well. After we lost to Chrysalis, there was just basically a week period of just us getting absolutely destroyed. So it kind of destroyed our mental. Well, for me personally, But then that week we just recovered, so it was a good timing to hit our stride.
It was a really, really good play from you guys throughout the whole, honestly, season. I'm sure you had one period where you guys were just that's a little bit scary, but you did bounce back afterwards, and honestly, I think the bounce back was the most impressive part.
Yeah, and honestly, I came into this league just trying to see what it was like to play Overwatch competitively in Scrim and play matches, but I ended up just winning it. I did not expect that.
First turning win.
Yeah, but when I came into the tournament, I didn't even know what role I was going to play, so...
I mean, that's just incredible. That's a Cinderella story I've ever heard. You go ahead, user, talk.
Now listen, I don't know what you're expecting from me, because I've got no questions. I feel this is the moment where Smoke should be able to relax, enjoy the gameplay, especially since they've just been walking out on Bastion, At least for me, if I had to ask one question, what's your kind of idea on the Bastion comps?
Bastion comp? I think Mr. Yeti is the most cracked Bastion in the whole tournament.
Whole world, would you say?
Yeah, it's pretty much the whole world.
You think he could beat Super's Genji with his Bastion?
Oh, most likely. I'd give it a 80% win rate. So, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And, you know, I'm really hoping that you get to look at these competitions and, you know, give us a little bit of analytical. So we're seeing, like, on the blue side right now, we see them manage to stop Milo from using that barrage to shut them down. But QZ-wise on that Widowmaker, and you went up against him. Does he feel like a scary DPS at all? Especially when he's trying to get these angles. But unfortunately enough, his team is not there to peel in, so they're not getting any room to start pushing this payload.
So you know, QZ, he's very good, but he did not play Widow in our match, so I cannot give info on his Widowmaker. So.
I'm definitely seeing why. He's already missing some shots, shoots deflecting. Genji almost kills himself, so that's a little bit more unfortunate as the rest of their sides push forward. Bomb, Nano, they want to commit a lot to these fights, and look at this as Ty thinks golds are played like Grandmasters. That's a remake kill that they are going to be able to sustain.
I cannot believe you keep doing me like that. They were quantifiably Grandmaster. I think you are the delusional one here, but I mean, I have a question that I just thought of for you, Smoke. You said coming into this tournament, you didn't know what role you were going to be playing. How did you figure that out internally? Like, what brought you to the decision where you were going to play a main tank role, right?
Yeah, so it just came down to what roles flashbacks needed, because that was my last chance. I got 2 offers and my second one was flashbacks, so that's the one they needed, so I played it.
And so you were just like, this guy with the shield looks cool, I'll play it?
I mean, I played it and it was fun, but you know, when you play the same, you know, role millions of times in scrims and games and everything, it just becomes very boring. So I no longer like that role.
that's the beginner competitive Overwatch hurdle of just, oh god, I have to play Ryan again, or I have to play Winston again. Honestly, yeah. I think the only hero that kind of is less with is like Ball, because you can just go around the map and do your own little thing, because there's so many different playstyles you can have with Ball, but that's just me.
Yeah, Ball, I wanted to play more Ball this season, but it just so happened that flashbacks were not, like, it was not our best comp, and we just wanted to run out on our best chances of winning, so
yeah,
we
take
didn't really
notes,
play
guys.
too much of it.
Take notes, they cannot play Ball comps.
Well,
I'll
tell you that flashbacks will not be the same next season.
You don't know?
Debatably
100%
speaking.
no.
Oh, leaks?
Leaks?
I know.
Question mark?
Leaks?
Yeah, SR. Everyone's just improved so much, it's just impossible to keep that team.
We can falsify some things. The Tranquility staff, I think we could agree, are kind of dumb sometimes, so maybe we could smidge it a little. Keep you guys going again. Yeah. But look at this. This is at least going to be interesting, because for this match, we already got Red Side. They managed to push in. I think it's absolutely, you know, Mr. Yeti carrying them.
Yeah.
He was on the Bastion, now he's on the Junkrat, choosing to play these spammy characters.
I mean, it's like Smoke said, you know, his Bastion is probably the best player on a certain hero in the world. You should play Winston? Never heard of him.
I mean, yeah, but he was nominated for Hitscan MVP. He's a tier manager, so, you know, it's not too surprising to see that he's going to be landing on it. It's more impressive to see both Turtles and Chobi dying immediately, especially to a Wrecking Ball booth.
Do you know what you call a comp with a Junkrat and a Winston?
No.
Junkie Monkey.
Junkie Monkey.
Junkie Monkey. Yeah.
It's fair enough, I definitely would say, but, you know, this meta of Overwatch is definitely getting a little weird. Even though we're not in a pure, you know, competitive environment, as these teams are walking out on 2 different types of ideas, especially the Hog Zarya, which is not something we traditionally see in Overwatch. Shelby's able to immediately take out Bubba. I feel Blizzard may be coming out with a patch soon. Something just feels weird about this upcoming Creator Cup. What's your feelings on that, Smoke?
Creator Cup? Oh, is that the experimental? What is that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I hope the go through this game is very boring at the moment.
Yeah.
I need something to spice it up, you know?
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that one. it's just fun changes. You know, it's not like balanced.
Exactly, yeah.
It's just, it's what Overwatch needs. You know, I think that personally 5v5 isn't a great decision because it alienates the casual community, but this kind of change really enforces the category.
Ooh, that wasn't pretty casual though. That was a casual bit of teabagging.
Toxic
And it seems
Joby?
that exactly. See that look, Stonky is gonna be looking to manage to find out 3 while we see QZY doing something they couldn't before, find some eliminations, though the Wrecking Ball may be able to sustain themselves for a little bit. You can't really beat when it comes to Exu.
So Smoke, here's an interesting one that I've been thinking of. Who would you say was the most fun team you guys went up against this season?
Let's see. Most fun? I have 2 that are my 2 favorites. I have the Chrysalis game when we nearly lost, but that was not the most fun because it felt like sometimes it was out of our control considering Fume was just lagging out. But the most fun was us against Phoenix Rising, where we just did not lose a fight.
Oh my god, that's... I did not
was my
expect an
favorite
answer
one.
that savage.
It was fun to play, but I could imagine it was terrible to play against.
Yeah. That's just new levels of savagery.
Honestly, I think it's a little bit more savage that Sonky is just continuously teabagging no matter where they go. And you know, something pointed out in the Twitch chat, just because we're allowed to finally break that 4th wall. I didn't realize something, but there's actually a Houston Outlaw skin being played in this match. And so, you know, Chef, look at this barrage. Absolutely insane. Okay, not that insane, because Gax just did to shut it down. But it's a Houston Outlaw skin, so it's not too surprising to see these teabags come in, wanting to stay alive inside this small room. We see Joby able to jump away to stay alive for a little bit longer, but this leaves themselves open to the brawl. Luckily though, the Dragon splitting them up, the Nano still keeping Traffic alive when they were close to going down. Out of every team, who is one that you would teabag if you saw their Overwatch League skin?
I saw that probably the Atlanta Rain. I do not like Atlanta Rain fan.
Good call. Good call, Smoke.
Thank you. With my experience with them, they're just good. Especially Capital.
I mean, it's something about their ego, man. They know something we don't, and that scares me.
I think they know that there's a monkey right now. The entirety of Indigo are just moving forward, trying to just push as far as they can. They'll be able to get the TK. And a little bit more of a question: who is your favorite teammate? That was asked in Twitch chat.
It's definitely Try, 100%. He's always been there. He was there. So I got 2 trials. He was there for the first trial. So he was there for both trials with me. So I've known him very long.
Oh!
Try.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Try ask that question. Traffic just starts moving in, trying to get as much damage. A free charge, by the way, gets peeled out by the immortality. It looks like they're going to be able to sustain. I think Try just wanted to give a little bit more love, get a bit more satisfaction while seeing just the rest of the team push forward.
So, I mean, so far, right, this is a bit of a meme gameplay, but I mean, both teams playing Baptiste just, I think, shows the power of the hero in Brawl. Even when they're memeing, they're still playing Milo, what is your plan? You're gonna get just one shot.
Now, you see, Milo's going to be walking forward. He's going to be looking to take out QZY on the Soldier 76, a debatably kind of underrated character, though. We've seen, is that Ring Around the Rosie and then you get punished like a Tozy? That's a little bit more upsetting, but I guess if any question has to come off of that, what is one hero you want to see a significant change to?
I'd like to see... I'd like to see... I don't know, maybe like, I think Roadhog. I think Roadhog is just, he's such a throw pick, he's terrible. So I think we need to make him so that he's not either absolutely awful or absolutely overpowered, because that's all he's been.
I mean, it's hard, you know, to balance a hero like that who's got like the...
Insta-score.
What's Tonky?
Stonky just breaking the flow of these conversations. I mean, like, you still lost it. That's the unfortunate part.
Still got a 3K. It was pretty cool.
We never played the Miami X, but I always thought Stonky was good. So
And Miami Yikes kind of went on a tear, if I remember correctly.
Not really.
What am I thinking of? It was Discord. Paradise Lost.
Oh yeah, they were good.
Which is ironic, you know, following the match name and both their score line. We do see QCY moving forward and looking to make a new name, and he's just able to slowly help to melt down. This is going to be more of a stall, just trying to last second touch that point. Fortunately, they don't get it. But, you know, as a team, I don't think you guys really needed to have very big stall moments. But when you did, what are big ideas and things that you focus on? Is there like a specific hero that you immediately want to take out to start putting it more in your favor, or is it all just about stall and see what we get?
So the main thing that was taught to me about stall is you want to give up 2 ticks or however much you can give, and then once you have a few alive, you want to go in with a character like a Doom or a Bull and like disrupt them, and then you all go in and use ults. You need to just stay alive, but the main one is you need to buy as much time to have all your players back in, because if you just trickle in one by one, you just won't win.
Here's a non-Overwatch related question, because I know we're all dying to hear more about Overwatch, you know, fun game.
Yeah.
But, here's one that I think is a very, very important question. First off, the pre-question to the question, do you watch The Owl House?
The what?
The Owl House.
No.
Alright, backup question. Do you know which map in Overwatch has a statue with eyelashes?
Eyelashes? Maybe. I mean, the only one I could think of is the one on King's Row. That
Nope,
who
no
puts
eyelashes.
lotion on.
It's a robot.
There's
Yeah,
no
but maybe it
eyelashes
has
on the statue.
eyelashes.
Nope, no it doesn't.
No, that's gonna be Ty's question. At least my question, as we see this confusing, more pseudo double shield try to break out. Yeah, with the Bastion and immediately fall. Wait, is it Paris?
No, it's Volskaya Industries. I say this every time, user. How do you not know by now?
I don't listen to you, alright? Because, listen, NPC's in chat. Listen, so Smoke, how would you feel, Smoke? Ooh, wait, hold up 1 second. Big, massive anti. Immortality is able to protect it. Just gotta give them that little bit of feedback in casting, as we just see Indigo slowly crumble underneath their weight. Not able to get too much out of this, though that shield's able to protect them. Still not enough. Smoke, what would you feel if you were on Twitter and you saw someone make a tweet talking about it's a banger because it got 2 likes, and then that tweet has 0 likes? How does that make you feel?
So the tweet is supposed to be a banger, but it's got 2 likes.
No, it's supposed to be a banger saying that it has 2 likes,
but it gets 0.
but it has 0.
That's just sad.
You don't gotta do me like that, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Why? Was that you?
Yeah. It's even sadder because
That's unlucky.
look at this. They are trying to push this payload, having to use that primal rage, doing the best they can, but the barrage shuts them down. Though they have a decent amount of stall when it comes down to the Tracer, there's only so much that QZY can do, not having any ability to sustain, and it seems that the double shield is going to thrive on this map. Not much that you can do. Indigo's just looking way too strong when it comes to defending, much stronger than Ty Munster's interactions on Twitter.
Like you, I'm gonna keep asking Smoke questions. He answers me nicely. So, God, you insulting me made me forget what my question was. Right. Who do you? All right. So, user asked you earlier, who do you think is a hero that deserves a significant rework?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you, who do you think is the most well balanced and well put together hero? Like, who do you think is the most well designed?
Probably Winston or Reinhardt, but probably Winston, because I don't think Ryan, because he has it's very hard for him to close distances, but Winston has his jump and his bubble, and he does a fair amount of damage, so I think he's fine.
Alright, that's a respectable answer.
Yeah, you know, also, Halloween event's coming out in like 2 days or so. If
Halloween. Did you just say Halloween?
Not Halloween. Ah! Sorry, Christmas.
My favorite December holiday.
Yeah. The Christmas event's coming out in a couple days. You know, had a little bit of a... When I hang out with Ty, my IQ kind of falls down, especially from his Twitter.
Okay,
but if you could have if you could make a Christmas event, what would it be?
Christmas event,
Like a minigame?
Yeah,
I would
like a
probably-
Mace Snowball type thing.
4, 3,
I don't know, just bring back goats.
Attackers incoming.
May
That'd be my one.
May snowball goats. I mean, does this look like goats to you, especially with Chobi immediately dying from charging, just getting punished as Chobi has always done in the series?
You know, Chobi, I'm surprised he actually went in because in our game, all he did was just shield me. It was very sad.
I mean, now he doesn't have to try anymore. He just gets to do whatever he wants.
Yeah,
How do you feel that he's about to lose, though?
I'm glad for my team, they're Indigo.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, I forgot about that. How do you feel
We
that
can't-
you're winning?
my team is winning and they're kind of sweating right now, so they're playing Pharah against Brawl, so
It's a goats.
into like this weird brawl, so with no
Yeah,
diva over the Sigma too.
It's kind of weird too. They're just pushing forward. Like I feel so bad as we just see them immediately move forward. Traffic is literally spawn camp shattering people. The payload's about to capture. I mean, at least they get MTD'd by Chobi.
There's been NTDs thrown around so much in this like chat. They've just been spamming MTD at anytime either of them gets a kill on anyone. But on the topic of differential, who do you think was the best player in Harmony this season?
I think it was Try. I think Try deserved to be the best player in Harmony. He hard calmed for our team on a role where you normally won't, and he also played incredibly well, so.
Respectable answer. User, I think, if I remember correctly, you said that you wanted him to be MVP in the Grand Finals, no?
I did, yeah. I thought Try was a very outstanding player, you know? Normally I don't like to, like, you know,
gas people up like that.
yeah, I don't like gassing people up. You know, I think if a player starts getting, you know, hype and has an ego about themselves, that's when they enter tier 3, and I'm trying to keep you guys in tranquility right now.
Yeah.
Oh, the cams just switched and I was fixing my chair. Sorry about that.
Ty, you're very dumb to realize that so late. But either way, honestly, I gotta say, that was a fun match. You know, just taking a step back, not really casting too much, but getting to enjoy a couple matches, and especially making fun of your own teammates. If there was one player you could make fun of just religiously right now, who would it be?
Fumehood. Fumehood is the best at taking insults, and he's very dumb, but he's so funny. So I love making fun of him. He always like disconnected. He always had to come to scrim late. I don't know. I love making fun of him.
I believe that. He
His
was
name in our Discord. Yeah. His name in our Discord is Low Ground Larry because in scrims he would just only play the low ground.
And one last question for you guys. Who do you... Actually, I got nothing. User, you got something?
Okay. You know, alright. When it
think of
comes down
Sorry.
to next season, do you feel like maybe flashbacks or just whatever team logo you go on, it should have like a better name? Like if you were gonna make your own team right now, what
Logo
would
and
be your
name.
branding?
Logo and name.
I would to make one. I mean, I'd probably do something. I thought the whole like army theme from the Sky Guardians org was pretty cool. So maybe I'd do something like that. Maybe like
Just don't do British.
why not?
Are you
if
British?
Yeah.
Get out.
Okay.
Yeah, we're bringing in the next person. Sorry. We don't need smoke anymore. My best friend is... Who's next?
Yeah, I think that interview's done. Thank you so much, Smoke, for joining us.
No problem.
What
It's a
do you
pleasure.
what would you name it though? Like
Yeah,
the
what's
British,
name?
like the tea bags, the
I've-
sinking tea bags.
Oh, that's so sad.
Oh,
Come
oh,
on.
you got the London Spitfire, the British Hurricane,
I'd steal some
the
of that.
Welsh Typhoon.
Or
I'd steal something like that. I do like, I don't know, Scottish sandbaggers, something like that.
Scottish Sandbaggers, I like that.
I like that too. But Ty is right. We're gonna be bringing the next person in. So Smoke, thank you so much for joining us. It was an absolute blast.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure's all ours. Oh, he's gone.
Listen, I didn't know he was British. We didn't get that warning before he like came in. You know, I feel our broadcaster booth betrayed us on that. So Ty, who's next?
To play or the map or to come in?
Let's come in. I'll introduce everybody on the smaller stuff. You're the brains. You need to let them know who's going to be sitting here talking to us the whole time.
If I remember correctly, which I don't, it's who? Milo. Okay, I was not going to say Milo, but it's going to be Milo coming in next. And we're going to be playing on Route 66 for our second map.
And, you know, I'm very glad I never got to cast a Sky Guardians game. Nothing like I hate them or anything. It's just the name Milo, the way he writes it out makes no sense to a caster like me. Like Ty, let's be real. I don't speak English very well. His name is spelled MY10H. I would not read that as Milo. I would read that as My10.
My10.
Yeah, do you know how stupid I am? And I gotta sit here.
LR 15 levels of stupid, bro. You've
No,
gone
dude.
too deep.
I thought the Shanghai player, DDing is called DDing and not Ding.
It's Ding. Oh my
But there's
god.
two D's, so it's
Jonak?
DDing.
It's Ding. It's just Ding. When you ring a bell, what noise does it make? Does it go ding or ding?
No, but he has two D's in his name, so I've always called him DDing. He has two D's. He has two D's in
That
his
is the
name.
bar. Okay, so Jonak has two J's. Is it J Jonak or Jonak?
No, it's Jonak, because you don't need to pronounce the second J, because the J
Okay.
can be silent.
Okay. And in season 1 and 2, there was a player who spelled their name Janus from South Korea. How do you say that?
What?
Janus.
Can you check that out?
No, just answer me. Just answer me.
No, I can't. Like, I'm waiting for the match to start, but like, I can't read. Like, I can't read what's in my brain. It's in Spanish.
I'm
I
gonna
can't.
I'm gonna put it in the chat right here so you can look at it. How would you
Okay.
say that?
Janice?
Wrong. So here's how
What?
Jonak works, right?
What?
So in South Korea, the way you say J, if it's one J, it's a Y sound. If it's two J's, then it's a regular J sound. So Jonak is Jonak. That is Janus. I killed him. Chat.
This man says Yanis, one
It's
J.
Janus. It's Janus. That's how it's
This is why I don't. This is why I don't like Overwatch players. You guys will name yourselves the most randomest things and then say that I'm pronouncing it wrong. I don't trust Koreans regardless.
Whoa, we got a racist caster?
Whoa! It's not like that. It's
Okay,
not like
anyways,
that. You know how
so
many?
Ding's funny, right? The Ding.
My favorite player is South Korean. Oh, hi, Milo.
Oh, we got Milo in.
Milo, first off, as you come in, I just want to say, beautiful icon. Love the anime as well.
Thank you.
I want to get an idea. Why name yourself Milo, but like with a 1 in it instead of just naming yourself the correct way to spell it? You know?
See, that's a great question, and I have a better answer for you. It's because it's taken on every platform ever, so we have to make it work.
So Milo,
Yes.
you know that in Discord, right? You
5,
can't
4,
take
3,
a username because of those.
So
1.
after
that's
you
true.
use it.
This is true. However, I'm gonna follow this up with this. So by every platform, I mean my Twitch username is my10. It has to be. So I might as well make it cohesive amongst all platforms, right? And that's why.
No, fair enough. I didn't even think about the branding. I'm more thinking about the fact that a Reinhardt Hog composition managed to break through what would be considered a traditional dive, and especially with Blinded shutting them down. But, you know, you were a part of Sky Guardians, and I want to get your feeling. The season's over. It's now All-Stars. How do you feel? Has everything, like, settled down?
Absolutely, it has. It was a really fun run while we were at it. A lot of ups and downs throughout, but we had a winning season, so I'll take that. And it was a really fun experience. I know a lot of those people are going on to play with other teams or maybe a different game or something, so I'm wishing them the best of luck.
Do you think he'll be sticking around, or are you looking to be one of those people moving on?
I think I'll be moving on, at least for this season right now. I'm not looking to continue playing competitive Overwatch. I will stay in the scene, kind of hanging around, maybe play some games with some people, but most likely just going to be chilling out.
The Vibe King, one may say.
Yes,
Yeah,
you could
I-
say that.
I can definitely respect that, you know, especially after just taking a win. The game's not in a space to where, you know, it's rewarding to continue his play. Though Bubba seems to not really care, looking for the Shatter, still getting shut down, and Chelby's able to get the 2K Fire Strike within your division, especially on your team. I think we've gotten to work with a lot of people, both in high and low moments. So who's been a player that you have seen either kind of keep up their mentals way better than you ever expected, whether on your team or not?
Keep up their mental. That's a great question.
Yeah, like who's someone that you think is like really good at like refreshing, staying good?
Definitely O. I don't think he's ever tilted once, except for when we play Valorant, and then very rarely.
Yeah, that's Valorant.
And he always has a solid mental. Hasn't really ever molded. Some people call him emotionless, actually, because he just doesn't change.
Interesting. Here's another one for you, Nils. But, so aside from obviously flashbacks, who was the most scary team for you guys going into the playoffs?
Was scary team? The only team I was actually scared of playing was Chrysalis, simply because I can't let Chobi DM me on Twitter saying, "Oh lol, you suck, nerd," every time he beats me. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. He did not DM me, "Well, you suck, nerd," but I felt it.
Okay. He didn't have to.
No, he didn't have to. He showed it with his gameplay. Their performance was very solid that game.
I definitely agree with that. They did look good. Though Chelby not looking as great right now, they have to have the Sound Bears solely to be able to move forward. Then they walk into the Dragons. The Shatter does not get blocked landing on 3, but Chelby still falls out. You know, if there was... This is a weird question I'm going to ask that just kind of came up in my mind, and your username already makes me mad enough to ask you a weird question. But if there was any staff member in Tranquility that you can get feet picks of, you could sell it.
What are you asking?
Who would it be?
Okay.
What did you just say?
Can you repeat that question one more time?
If there was one Tranquility...
That's my point.
If there was one Tranquility staff member that you could get feet picks from and then sell it off, who would it be?
Apathy.
Apathy?
Easily.
Answer
Easily.
that is depressingly quick.
Absolutely apathy. 100% of the time.
You are too sure of yourself with this one, man.
Absolutely apathy 100% of the time. His feet picks in my DMs immediately, onto the eBay, onto the OnlyFans.
So,
bang.
Can I ask you why?
Why apathy?
Yeah.
Why not apathy?
You're very short.
Yeah, why not?
Why not apathy? Have you seen his hair? Dude,
yeah.
That guy has commitment. Listen, commitment means his feet will be looking pristine. I guarantee he gets pedicures daily, alright? And I'm considering making Apathy's feet picks an NFT. I mean, think about it.
Actually true.
What, are you gonna make his feet smoke?
Listen, man. Listen, man. I don't know yet. This idea is new. Brand new.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't think it's that bad of an idea. Though it seems that been given power as they're going to be able to cap the point. It's precisely why I asked that question. Staff members on that team, meaning that the love they get, it's the love that Mr. Yeti's going to get, and they managed to just barely pull it in. Though it seems that Bubba no longer wants to be playing main tank.
No, that makes sense.
I don't judge. The role sucks.
No, yeah.
Here's a question, though. Sorry, user, you're not allowed to talk right now. But
fair enough.
You're in timeout. You enforced the feet pick conversation. But
yep.
So here's my question. User asked this last time. I'm taking it for myself. It's my question now. Who do you think, out of all the heroes, is the one you want to rework or at least significantly change the most?
Hanzo.
Why?
He's OP. I hate him. Everything he does annoys me. Everything. The way he jumps, the way he shoots, the amount of damage he does, all of his abilities annoy me. Extremely. No matter what character you play, no matter how you play the character, Hanzo is still better. 100% of the time.
Really funny, because as you were saying that, we actually had Retro teabagging as Hanzo on the screen, which I think was the biggest spite of all day. Especially when Smoke is like looking to take them out. And I can definitely agree with that sense of Hanzo. But how would you feel if Blizzard right now buffed Hanzo?
Well, I'm already uninstalling Overwatch. So, I mean, I don't know if there's any way for me to refund all of the alt accounts I have, or, I mean, I don't know. I could add like an additional lawsuit where they buffed Hanzo too much and it's making the game unplayable. I don't know if they'll respond to that very well, but when do they respond to anything we want? So
I could say something, but I won't. I don't think I can say it on this Twitch, but so you told me, you know, in the undisclosed situation, undisclosed because it's very private, RDM.
This guy.
You said that you were going to be considering pursuing content creation.
absolutely.
What games, other than, you know, Overwatch, would you want to be, you know, playing and content creating with?
I honestly don't care. I'm a big kind of variety streamer enthusiast. I'll play any game. I mean, honestly, my main game right now is obviously Valorant. I've just been one-tricking that game for a while now. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see me playing Overwatch, Valorant, then you play Minecraft, get some crab game tournaments in there. I mean, who knows what I'll be playing day-to-day basis, honestly.
Soldier 7.
That's a really interesting.
Haze
Hey,
C9?
yeah, and you know that was a very nasty C9 too. I hope people clip it so we can make fun of him later. But you know, this is something I haven't gotten to ask. I was planning to make this a tweet, but since I have you here, what is something that you want to be able to see? Because obviously you're not into Overwatch as much anymore. But if there was any type of content that you want to be seeing that would draw you in, or like any viewer in, what do you think it was? Especially for a place like Tranquility, which makes videos, but they're not always doing the best. I think they do decent, but you know, what's something that you as a player or a viewer would have wanted to see?
Out of Overwatch specifically?
Yeah.
I mean, any sort of new content from the game would be awesome. Just in general, I love it when content creators come with new ideas, like in the game, like competitive challenges. Like even if people like don't like, you know, content creators doing their ranked games, say we're just doing quick play or something, and they want to do some sort of challenge where you can only play using Torbjorn's hammer, for instance, since it's on the screen in a second here. That would be interesting. I might click on that, or maybe I can only use Torb's turret to do damage. Some kind of like interesting challenge that gets me to want to watch and see, could it be done, you know? That's what really entices me.
That's a respectable opinion, you know. Try Lokesley, he's gonna be trying to do that. So, but I think this is a very interesting question, which I totally came up with and didn't steal from anywhere. It's actually true. I don't know why I'm talking about it like I'm a liar, but what is your favorite workshop game?
Oh my god. Workshop game mode. Alright. I gotta think for a second. Honestly, the Thomas the Tank Reinhardt one is really fun. That one's really fun. The problem is I'm always not Thomas. That's what I want to play. I want to play as Thomas, just slam people. But that one's really fun. Another one, I guess the one that I use most frequently is probably like the gun game one, like on Workshop Expanse. Just a really solid game mode for any occasion.
Not a Doomfist parkour kind of guy?
I sometimes, on occasion, I will dabble in some Doomfist parkour, but not all the time. So I'd say the Thomas one and probably any sort of like deathmatch kind of thing.
No. I'll write that one down.
That's fair enough. But, you know, going back to previously what you said before of like, you're just, you know, you're going to be vibing, you're going to be singing there. Besides from your own team, who else are you just going to be like backseating the whole time?
Backseating the whole time. Let's see. Who?
Yeah. Like who? What's another team that you like? You hang out with their players, and so like even though you're not gonna be playing Overwatch, you'll still be watching them. You know.
Probably some of the JPC members. Maybe even for fun, I'll probably give a peek into, and then I'll probably just bully wherever Chobi goes. So I think the Galactic Esports for next season. I think he's making that a team or something.
Hey,
So
Chobi
I'll
just
probably,
died, so it makes sense.
yeah, exactly. So I'll probably end up just like going in there and trolling.
It's an interesting opinion to hate Chobi with every fiber of your being. I respect that.
It's a right choice.
It is the right choice, honestly. Hashtag hate Chobi on Twitter. Get it trending.
I mean, should I make another subreddit?
Absolutely, please. I will join, and you know, we'll get that trending everywhere.
Yeah, because Ty Monster actually made a r/I hate Navino subreddit, and now people are using it to say why they hate Navino.
That's
Unironically. Yeah,
That's
so
beautiful.
Maybe we
Just
can get a show me
I
one.
hate this Overwatch player subreddit rather than specifics. Just generally, this guy sucks. Go ahead and rant about him. Why limit it to certain? Why have multiple subreddits where we can all be conjoined in a circle of hatred?
I agree.
I mean, fair enough. We did just also get a raid with 15. Thank you so much to just listening on to these questions as Retro is using devices. Not really much of an Overwatch, just more of an interview, I guess.
So, a sort of piggyback question to the one I asked earlier about who you want to see rework the most. Who do you think is the most well-balanced Overwatch hero at the moment?
Good question, because any answer I give is going to be controversial. Most balanced character.
Smoke actually said Winston Reinhardt. That's about as uncontroversial as it gets.
That is actually pretty uncontroversial, I'm not gonna lie. I will go with another one. I'm going to say Tracer, not necessarily because I main her, because I feel like there is a lot of valid counterplay for Tracer. Like, smart Tracer players will farm you if you're not playing smart. Now, also, there is a little bit of, like, you can be brain dead with Tracer and get away with it. However, I think there's a lot of that for a lot of other characters. So I feel like Tracer's actually, for as busted as people like to call her, I think there's a lot of good counterplay for her. I mean, you can't beat this.
Yeah, it's a very good, well-balanced
I
hero.
just think some Tracers are just really good at this game for no reason.
Absolutely. I wish I could have been one of them. I thought I was maybe gonna do some with that, but I couldn't get to where I wanted to be personally. But yeah, some Tracer players just exude their will on the game, and you have no say about anything.
Makes sense. Well, Ty, do you mind me asking one last question?
Absolutely.
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, our next game is GOAT. And, you know, as much as of the memes that they're going to be, because this is going to be the Toronto Defiant GOAT, so there are a lot of old changes. What is one thing you want to see out here? Is it a 6K shatter? Is it an MTD? Is it a meme? Do you want to see Cholby die again?
I just want to see a Lucio backcap. A good, honest Lucio backcap. I need it. I need some normalcy. Goats, I'm going to say this. When filling out the form for if I wanted to play Goats, I put that at the very bottom under disgusting ugliness, okay? I'm not a Goats fan. It's dishonest. It's dishonest, okay? No good. Therefore, I need to see some valid, clean Lucio backcaps.
I mean, you're completely incorrect. It's the most honest composition, considering how Widowmaker is the least honest hero in the game. It's the farthest away from
Hanzo is the most unhonest character in the game, and therefore
Did you
he's
say
not
the most honest?
No, the unhonest. He's evil.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify because I thought you said the most honest, and
No. That would go against everything I stand for.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's pretty dishonest. He's a close number 2 in my opinion, but yeah.
Either way, I want to thank you so much for joining us. It was an absolute blast. And, you know, I really hope to just see you hanging around more. All right?
Absolutely, we'll be doing that.
Yeah, well, you're free to go.
Thank you so much for popping in, Milo. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and also congratulations on the making it to playoffs at the very least and having a decent run when you did it.
Thank you, I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
It is a podcast, not
it is a podcast.
I would kind of call it. You know, we haven't really been doing too much, so I could see it like that, honestly. Really can't say otherwise. But, Ty, we had another moment to bring new people in, and yes, we're going straight over to GOAT, so it's going to be really interesting to see. And, you know, as much as you've been having raw opinions all day, who's going to be the next person we bring in?
That is an excellent question. Who was it? QZ! Welcome. QZ will be joining us in King's Row.
You don't get to talk to QZ.
Oh.
Because you want to be rude to my boy QZY, one of the cutest players within the team.
I would never, I have never, and I should never be rude to QZY Overwatch. He is a very powerful man, and I respect everything that he is as a person. Yes.
You just ended off with yes?
Do you have a better option?
Well, I would have a better option of like solo casting because I wouldn't have to hear your very invalid opinions because for some reason you think a lot of things, Mr. Ty, and you think a lot of wrong. Because Goats was not fun. Well, Goats was
at top 10 next year.
No, because listen, Goats was the most boring thing in Overwatch, and
Ghosts
players
take Overwatch.
players to be sniffing up all they can right now, hoping and praying that that comes back because they want to play the same thing over and over again, and yet they're bored of the meta right now. Think.
Well, you
Ty,
see,
think.
the difference is in modern Overwatch, we just have Zenyatta's dying left and right, and you know those people get to complain. And back then, we got to bully the people who didn't have brains and lost 5,000 SR because they were just Genji one-tricks. And now we're at the point where, you know, Genji one-tricks are just playing Echo and getting free SR. But the GOATS era was the sweetest time because Genji was broken. Hi, QZ. I'm going to finish my point and then let you say something. But that was the sweetest time because the Genji one-tricks with the huge egos just stopped having the egos. And that was great.
Well, unless we're gonna be on King's Row, which is, you know, the GOATS map of all. QZ White, it's great to have you. Absolutely love you, my good man. And I gotta wonder, who's your favorite DPS hero? Is it Genji?
Where am I?
You're in the room to be interviewed and talked for a bit.
Oh.
We've
Like,
tied
did you just forget that?
No.
We've tied you to a chair, and if you say anything we disagree with, we will be feeding you olives.
Ready for
Oh, I
battle.
We
didn't
will
just eat it.
listen-
I like eating olives raw.
We'll
Okay.
make you. What?
You'll be
You're
eating my old
disgusting.
band-aids.
Listen, if you say anything that makes Ty happy, I will play Super Idol on this Twitch channel right now.
I can't say anything that makes him happy.
Either way, you've been a pretty prominent flex player. I definitely would feel. You did lose, you know, Koala Kings obviously, and Ty's gonna get into that because he's an asshole about it. Oh wait.
Whoa!
He's a bum about it. But
Oh my
what's your
God.
favorite role to play?
5,
I don't know, man. Listen, I've played so many roles at this point. I don't really know.
attackers incoming.
They're supposed to play long as
Defend
they can.
objective A.
Probably because of just bias. Probably still main tank because I just played it for the longest, you know. Right, DPS was a fun little thing that I always beamed up playing. I played it like once or twice. It was fun. I don't think it will be as fun as main tank was for me, but that's where I started. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. I started off as a off-tank player, but I quickly transitioned into main tank the moment that I started losing games because my ego was too fat. And you know, it's a very fun role. It's very fun to play the main tank and be the anchor of the team. When you're a very vocal person, it's definitely a lot of fun. But see, this is why this is peak Overwatch. Point one is captain. There was a minute 5:45. This is why this is peak Overwatch.
Drinking some grape Gatorade. It's not really too good. I'm not really a big fan.
What is your favorite flavor of Gatorade, QZ?
Yellow.
What?
Yellow.
Original yellow Gatorade. I don't know.
That wasn't
You're
Gatorade,
disgusting.
QZ. That
That's
was not
banana.
Gatorade.
Yes,
What is that,
it is.
banana flavor?
Listen, don't worry about the color. It's a bit more orange yellow, but it's still yellow.
Yeah, you just saw. I hope you did, Shelby. I mean, I'm a little more impressed. Shelby's been playing around all day, and yet that's the best thing out of all 3 maps Shelby has committed to do. These poor souls just trying to live. How is Try still alive, by the way? Oh, wait, into the shadow.
What is happening?
This is why this is peak Overwatch. There's a transcendent. Oh my
Why are you laughing at a Transcendence? They
The
built
Brig is flank
Tranta.
rallying in their backline. What is happening?
This is GOATS in its finest. Look at that. Potato's just
Brig
moving in.
oh, there's a grab. Oh, there's a double
Yeah, look
stack
at that.
support. Oh, this is Harmony tier late. Oh, there goes off the What is happening?
Oh man, you know, out of that old
Ult been
Fiesta,
used in like 10 seconds.
too many, and they're
That's why
still
that's
moving forward.
That is why this is peak Overwatch.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So, you know, QZ, I think you've played on a lot of teams and such. So, what do you think is one of the most defining features to make a team be strong and consistent?
Making a team be strong or consistent? I think a strong team focuses a lot on mechanics, but a consistent team focuses a lot on communication. I mean, obviously you need both to be a good team, right? But like to be a strong team, you don't really need communication. You need a lot of communication.
Yeah, it's probably one of the most agreeable.
Oh my god.
What?
Mechanics,
Yeah.
you know,
They just
game
get double
senses really
tanked?
have enough. What is that? There's so many boop kills. King's Row.
It's King's Row, and there's been 3 boop kills in the last
The
10.
Briggs rallied in the back line again. Oh, he hasn't even killed the other Brig yet. What's he doing?
Yeah, there. You know, you ask and you shall receive, as they say.
Oh, okay, it's a bit of a leap beat, but you know what, it works out, I guess.
I definitely agree. And look at that beautiful sound beer. So I'm curious.
There goes the bomb.
As
Obviously
this
doing
bomb
it
goes
here.
out, wait,
How?
2.
How?
Wait,
How?
wait. But
Yeah, the
traffic is
shield. Like, oh my
we actually need a
shield.
replay on
What?
that. Traffic
What is
as a
that?
shield.
How is Optibot in their backline?
The only 2 heroes who shouldn't be dying to that are Lucio and Reinhardt. Whoop-de frickin' do. They're the only ones that do.
I give Brig a bit of a thing over Lucio, but what?
Yeah,
what?
like-
What? What is happening?
Like I feel like they're absolutely putting on some type of show, but I'm a little more curious. Do you use the I Hate Navino subreddit that time in?
That's a thing?
Yeah.
I don't use Reddit at all, but you know,
Yeah,
now
look
that
at
just that. Milo really showing why he's the MVP, getting his dragon.
Yeah.
And then Smoke able to come in from the first interview, gets a 2K meltdown on the Brigitte. I'm really impressed that this is not like even. This has been going one-sided the entire
This
map.
egg fella needs to get alleviated from the game.
Question
agree.
for Mr. QZ.
Yep.
So I just thought this will be good for every person following. So between the 2 past people we've interviewed, Milo and Smoke, you have to pick one of them to be your wingman. Which one do you choose?
My wingman.
Your wingman, yeah.
All right, considering
Like you're
how
going to the bar,
I have
you're trying to
talked
meet somebody.
Literally none of them.
Okay, well,
Score.
you gotta pick now. Sorry.
All right, so I've heard rumors that Smoke is British, so I'm gonna pick the other guy.
Yeah.
Good call. Good call. That was the correct answer.
Yeah.
Not many questions will be asked with the correct answers, but that is one of them.
Why not just get a friend request? Bubble Wyatt. No.
But I do want you to consider that the next person that comes in here will have you on the plate as well. So it will
Beautiful. They
So-
won't pick me because of my ego. So,
exactly, yeah. You're learning.
Yes,
That's fair enough. But, I think this is the question I'm going to ask next. It's more of an introspective type of thing, especially since you've played every role, I think, at least to my knowledge, and you've at least have some experience on them. So which one do you feel...
In an actual team environment, but I'm
Oh,
hoping
okay.
to do this.
So out of
played
tank
every
and
role.
DPS. Fair enough. So out of tank and DPS in a competitive and team environment, which do you feel took more out of you and forced you to have to try your best? Main tank?
Main tank.
Main tank.
DPS is
Main
so
tank.
easy compared to main tank. I'm sorry, DPS players, but it's just the truth. It really is.
Yeah, I've played every role up to I think a 3.5 level at least. It's main tank, at least in
Yeah,
scrims,
I
which
mean-
basically means I've played it to a low diamond level. But it's main tank. Main tank's the hardest
Yeah,
role.
when you are a main tank for a while, right, and you're this isn't specific to all teams, right, because you can have any comp style you want on main tank, but when you're usually almost forced to pick up the main comms for everything on the team, it takes so much out of you, especially when you're controlling tempo of the game as well. It's so much more difficult to do that, along with trying to keep your mechanics in check while you're comboing like this, mid-fight stuff. It's so difficult. I felt like on DPS it was so much easier to focus on my own game compared to tank, and that's really the biggest thing.
Yeah, that was a good chat.
Oh, of course, Smoke's online now. They actually want to win. Plus big gigs.
I'm not too surprised. I think Indigo has just been going hard this entire game. They are really into winning right now for no reason.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's entertainment, guys. Come on.
So here's 2 questions that I've asked the 2 previous people.
Not mine.
Previous people was wrong. But who do you think is the hero who is the most balanced, and who do you most want to be?
Who do I think is the most balanced? I don't think there's really any argument. Ana has to be the most balanced hero in the game. It's
See that?
she was made to be the most balanced hero in the game, essentially. The only other character I would think that's as balanced is I don't even know, Zarya, like, and even then, it's like he could snowball pretty hard. So, and the least bounce you said as well.
No, who do you most want reworked?
Oh, who I most want rework? Soldier.
Soldier.
Soldier is my least favorite character to play against. I just hate playing against him personally. I know he's not broken. I know he's not all that good, but Jesus Christ, is he annoying to play against. When that man could just poke you down and just run away with no threat of being like killed at all, like it is just the most annoying thing.
It's like Soldier's Run. That's what I would rework.
A good, like, only spam hacking Sombra or like Doomfist, like I can't pick anyone else besides Soldier that I want reworked. Also, his playstyle, or like his playstyle just doesn't really fit with the game.
Yeah, but look at that. At least there's finally a Shatter. Oh, how do they get no value off of it? And that's
because they use like 4 ults.
I mean, like, still,
Rally, grab, Shatter, bomb.
That's true. Look, they're even touching.
Grabbing in their own spawn, you know.
They're touching those doors, and you know, I'm very curious, because you've been playing Overwatch for a long time. Have you ever been in this scenario in a competitive environment where you've done this to a team? You're touching these spawn doors. You're just being rude.
All the time. Takes me back to League 0 Season 2 days when I played Geometric.
Making a little personal.
On the finals, not only that, but you know, it was great this season. First game.
Here's another question.
I remember.
Sorry, you cutting you off. Did you have anything for the?
No, I was just saying I remember because he played against me and destroyed me.
So, what was the first meta you played in? Oh my God, that's a.
I think people think that I've been playing the game a lot longer than I actually have. I started playing competitively when I think it was the Ana Rhyme meta. It was like after the double shield like nerfs I did.
Really?
Yeah, I have not been playing Overwatch for as long as people think. Like I've owned the game on like Xbox since like I don't know. Roll-lock, but like anywhere past that, like I haven't really done much with the game until that meta came out and I started playing. So
it's really shocking because I've actually been playing competitively since just a little bit before GOATS. So like hearing the people haven't been playing since.
Oh,
like,
this is just.
Oh yeah. You have anything to add, user?
Listen,
I wish I could have played blind in this one.
Yeah.
I definitely agree because I wasn't in Overwatch during GOATS either. My computer broke beforehand, so look at that. Indigo once again managing just to pull through. I mean, they lost the last one, but it seems that they really want to win. But QZY, if there's one thing you could do that you feel is very important to bring back the Overwatch kind of competitive scene, or at least in a lower rank, what is it?
Like Path to Pro?
Not Path to Pro necessarily, but like getting people wanting to play this game in like this competitive environment, especially in a more friendly type thing that Tranquility does.
In a more for like a friendly kind of community setting with a tournament, stuff like that.
Yeah, like what do you feel kind of nurtures and makes people want to play? And like if you were to tell any tournament like, hey, this is what you're doing wrong, this is why people don't want to play here. Well, what would it be?
I think it's just there's so many factors. I definitely think the state of the game needs to be one, but it's not really something you can control. Another big thing is I really think is important, and I know it might not seem that important when you're starting a league, but production, I think needs to be very good for people to want to play in the league, because like if you have good production, like you want to watch it, and then watching it probably makes you want to play it. You know what I mean? Like seeing a game trailer, right? You want to play the game after you see a good trailer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like production needs to be good. Community is like, yeah, that could be okay. Like you can't really build. You could try to build a community, but it's like if you're letting people in, it's like what you're gonna get. So
yeah, it's
I just think production and like not too strict of rules is just the two things that you need. Also, like I don't think draft leagues are the way. Yeah, let's make that. I don't think draft leagues are the way of the future for like Overwatch kind of stuff. I think pre-mades are definitely a good way. It's like draft leagues are fun once in a while, but I don't think they should be majority of leagues. So I think having a pre-made league like this, where it's significantly big, good production, right? Rules are decently lenient, is the way to go. So I think if you have those two things, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I think that's an agreeable answer. I mean, I think personally for me, one of the feelings that I remember distinctly in Overwatch is the first time I was casted. Like that's always like that's one of the things that I think
Yeah.
draws a lot of people, like you said, to production, but specifically the casting. That always drives people. Like I want people to watch me play the video game, and people who care about the video game to watch me play the video game. And being casted is oftentimes some of the best that a lot of people will get. So I agree with you a lot. I think that's a very one of those things that resonate with people.
I've always wanted to try casting, but you know, it's a lot of work at the time. Maybe one day. One day.
Definitely agree. I mean, you beat me so hard that I was forced to go into casting. So
Exactly. I literally forced you into early retirement.
it's very true. KZY did beat me. But you know, I gotta say thank you for joining us. Absolutely love talking to you, and I promise soon I will reach the necessary light in Destiny.
Yeah, you better. We have raid on Friday, bro.
Exactly.
You're just not at light level. New dungeon came out too.
And one more thing.
Destiny
thing.
2. Easy.
We're about to be going into Eichenwald, where you guys are going to be playing the experimental patch.
Oh,
Are you playing Lucio?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it
Then
no
I can-
limits?
No, it's the experimental patch where
So is
Lucio
there
can bonk
limits?
people in the heads.
I just have to be the fastest to lock.
It is no limits. Oh my
perfect.
god. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna need you to do. All right, totally
One
not
Roadhog,
casting biased.
two Roadhogs, 4 Lucios. They farm beat off of the Roadhogs, and then you just slap people.
No, just DPS frog them and then get beats and out DPS frog the enemy frogs. It's pretty simple.
I mean, the only frog that I could see is like, I don't know, Yeti. So I think I'll be able to do.
All right, all right.
I
I'll
will
let
not
you
be
go.
a headshot.
Anything else you want to say to the lad before he leaves, user?
Nah, he's got my heart. He already knows what I'm thinking.
All right, get out while you still can.
Oh, okay. Well, you tied me up in this chair. I can't really leave.
Oh yeah, hey, give me 1 second.
Can you release my arm restraints?
Yeah. If you, I think.
Yep, got it. All right.
I was about to warn him about your like giant gummy, you know, and your like weird obsession with eating things that are chubby. Regardless, you did have a very good transition moment of mentioning what our next map is going to be. That's the experimental patch, and you know, I think it's experimental patch, right?
It's the experimental patch. It's gonna be no limits. So that means people can play 6 Lucios. They can play a Lucio and an Ana and a Lucio and an Ana and a Lucio and then maybe even an Ana if they want to.
It's gonna be quite interesting more than anything. I don't know how many people are really like they sat down and watched the Creator Cup. I definitely had moments where I would tune in and I would enjoy. I definitely think it was absolutely fun. Also, some people from Tranquility were casting in there for like Juggle God, Captain Jack. It was an absolute blast. They are beautiful people.
Oh yeah, I was jealous. I didn't tune in.
I'm not gonna lie, I was low-key jealous too, but I was like, why prey on their downfall when I can prey on their rise, you know? Gotta bring that positivity in.
Speaking of bringing things in, who is our next Stonky? All right, we are going to be bringing in Stonky in just a moment. Oh, hello Stonky. How is your day going?
Pretty good. How's yours?
It's going pretty well. You know, at least for me, I like to start off these questions off by just getting a sense of who you are as a person. And why is your Discord icon a K-pop member? I would presume to be a Blackpink.
And I like to bring it in through something much more important. Which map is the only map in the game to have eyelashes on a statue? But you don't answer his first.
I'm a fan, so you know. That's where it comes from. It's not Blackpink, sadly. It is somebody else, but you know.
Alright, I respect
my
that.
dream waifu, you know.
Can you even call them a waifu? They're real people.
The physical
well,
waifu.
not to me, you know, because I'm never gonna meet him. So you know.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately they messed something up. It's not the experimental patch, so give us just 1 second. And Stonky, you gotta answer my question now. What's the only map in the game to have a statue with eyelashes?
Gosh, is it this one?
No. There's no
No?
statue. Ike doesn't have a statue.
Like the center building, right? Is that not a statue?
That's a building. Do you know what a statue is?
I mean, Blizzard World? Yeah? Statue there, right?
There's a statue on Blizzard.
Gaia. You
Okay,
need two of the only maps in the game
Look.
without statues.
No,
statue
Blizzard
on
World
Blizzard,
has a
please.
statue.
Oh, it
Back me
does
up
on
here.
third. Right, my bad. But he called the tower. Point Eichenwald, a
Look.
statue.
Look, I'm not there mentally, that was a tough goats row,
I gotta agree, and you've got to play a little bit. How much are you enjoying so far? Just being able to play this game with no real sense of like stakes.
It's always fun, especially getting to definitely meet some of the other like, I don't want to say higher tier players, but some of the other all-stars, you could say, I guess. And just getting to play with them, since some of them you don't get to play against during the season, so it's good to play against them, have some on your team, and just go out there and have fun.
Just get into their brains and prying in there to steal for next season. I get you.
Yeah. I mean, I wish, but there's definitely no talks of strategy in any of these games. So
Yeah, no, I mean, we just saw on a BAP like 3 times, so there's no strategy whatsoever freaking ever.
yeah, we had Mystery Heroes map 1, so that's how we're taking it.
Yeah, I mean, unofficial Mystery Heroes always everybody's favorite, but so I'm gonna ask this question a little bit earlier because we got some downtime. Out of all the heroes in the game, you have to pick one to rework, and you have to pick one who they are not allowed to change. Who are the picks you have?
Gosh. One to rework. Jeez, put me on the spot here. Let's go. One to rework. I'm going Cassidy. Almost called him Kree. Taking his flash or his stun, and it's just gonna be like a flash in Valorant. It's just your screen's gonna go completely white. You're done.
Not a big
See
rework,
anything.
but I like that.
Fair amount.
I mean, it's just something I always thought about.
It's an interesting change.
All right.
And
At
then,
least for me. Oh wait, yeah, you go, Ty, before I.
something that wouldn't change. Oh gosh.
The hero you want to change, yeah.
I mean Hanzo, just because that's my main.
Oh.
I guess you could say, and I
Hanzo.
just, it just works. I don't want to change it, and then maybe I'm bad at Hanzo.
What
Lose
a
my spark.
coincidence. What a coincidence. Somebody earlier said they want to butcher Hanzo. So we've definitely changed our tone throughout the course of this cast.
I mean, Hanzo gave me my name, I guess. In
Did he
here,
actually?
So, well, from my one play like 2 seasons ago. That's what I ride my fame on right there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you got Booth remembering it. That's impressive. But I definitely
I have no clue what it is.
give you that love on it. But you're lucky that we went into the game. If we did not go into that game, I would have asked you a weird question that would have got me yelled
If it's
at.
the toe thing again, I swear to
It's
God.
not the toe. Why would it be the toe question again?
Go ahead. I want to hear it.
All right, you want to hear it? Okay. Out of everyone in Tranquility staff, who do you think by far could win American Idol?
Oh, that's a good question,
Oh,
actually. I thought you were going to ask about feet.
I was about to say
No,
I'm ready for
I
toes.
said it's not the feet. I said it's not. Why do you guys not listen to me?
Because you're a liar. Anyways.
I mean,
who would
yeah.
win an Idol? That's a good question.
I've never heard anybody sing, so I can't go based off that.
Yeah, you just got to base it off of how they talk.
Oh gosh.
Thug.
That's what I say.
That's what Booth's saying.
Thug looks
That's-
like he's got it, but as far
Yeah,
as
no, but that's
talking,
biased. It's got to be what Stonky thinks.
I don't think I've heard him talk, so I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go Thor, right?
Really?
Let's go to Thor.
3, 2,
I was actually thinking, these, I don't think he's staffed, but Gizmo, Charmin, they're all Doomfist. Oh my God, they're all Doomfist. Oh my God, how did I not see this before? No, they're going in, chat!
Oh my
They're
god.
going in! Let's fuck off!
Why did they all simultaneously do the rollout?
Definitely not practice.
I definitely gotta agree. I want to get a little bit more controversial, because all these Doomfists are failing to do what they can. Do you think Doomfist is actually a fair hero, or as some people think, a very stupid and broken hero?
objective
Depends
lost.
if you're good. If you like me personally, lucky punches, stuff like that doesn't cut it. You know your rollouts, you know how to play them. Absolutely broken. But looking at these Doomfists on our team that have now changed, I would say he's not broken. If you look at those.
I mean, I just want to mention real quick. I was gonna say, Retro, what are you doing? Why are you playing Widow? Immediately domes Milo. You know, takes him out of the fight. And also, I think it was QZ gets a perfect right click onto another Tracer. So, you know, just wanted to point it out. And Smoke is the best worker in the lobby.
Yep, random potato hog here.
Fair enough. And I'm gonna get you a bit more of your experience. You were on Miami Yikes, and that wasn't a team that, at least for me, I saw a lot of people talk about. So, what were some bright sides and you felt very strong suits that were a part of your team?
I think definitely the comms. I know a couple people mentioned that as well, if they heard us through VODs or just watching streams. Our comms were definitely more calmer than a lot of other teams, I would say. I'm not gonna say they're better, but definitely much more calmer and clear. So I think that definitely improved over the couple seasons we've been here, and it helped us a lot to improve every year, you know. We didn't make it far, but every year was an improvement, I feel, so.
You made it, which is important. Even if you don't make it far, you made it in, which is still a decent achievement.
I feel like we could have done better, you know, but you know, it is what it is. At least we made playoffs. I guess everybody did, but you know, upper bracket, not too bad, 2 seed, but
I mean, yeah, you guys only ended up losing to some really good teams, so I definitely wouldn't give yourselves too little credit. You definitely went on a really good tear on there.
yeah, we at least got 1 win in the playoffs before we dipped out of there, you know.
So winless in the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely not calling anybody out there, right?
I mean, no.
Not anymore. So, you've been playing Overwatch for a good amount of time, I presume?
Yeah,
What's one map you're like absolutely sick of playing or scrimming?
oh gosh, there's a lot, but I enjoy King's Row. I just like, you know, I like to play Hanzo Free there, or Cassidy, sorry. Still getting used to it. Definitely not like a Ilios fan, I guess I would say. Just compared to the other Control maps, just not my favorite. Really not.
Fair enough.
Here's a. Oh, okay, Milo. Pop off right as I'm about to open my mouth. Thanks, man. But so out of the 3 people we've interviewed so far, it was Milo, it was QZ, and it was Smoke. You have to pick one of them to be your wingman. Who were you choosing?
I mean, I feel like the obvious choice is Milo. Just the outgoingness, and he's got, you know, the Vans, he's got everything for him.
What the hell?
So that would be
100% pick rate.
I mean, it's just
Milo's
it makes
just
sense.
It does make sense.
But I mean, Smoke does, you know, he's got that, I guess that high SR, you know, he's a killer on the tank, so maybe he's a good wingman with the experience with the go-off potential, you know?
Also, one thing that people didn't mention, you know, not naming any names, but, you know, some people like the British accent, you know. Obviously, us Met, we are anti-British, as we should be, but what is going on in this room? Hang on. I need to interrupt myself, because that,
Why? How did 2 Brigidas beat 3?
it's a balanced hero, man. But, so, a lot of women like the British accent, so, you know, Smoke wouldn't be a bad pick, I think, for a wingman.
Yeah, I mean, he might take them all, you know, if they like the British accent, but hey.
No.
Get the scraps,
Okay.
I guess.
Alright. Now, if we're talking about that kind of idea, I need to ask. Do you like Ryan Reynolds? Do you think Ryan Reynolds is a hot man?
Yes, for sure. I'm definitely a Ryan Reynolds fan.
Would you date Ryan Reynolds if you had the chance?
Without a doubt.
So it's not weird that I would date Ryan Reynolds, right?
You guys are both just weird. That's the thing.
No. How is that weird? He thought Wrecking Ball players. He thought a Wrecking Ball match was Masters when they were Plats.
It was GM quantifiably Grandmasters. The players were 4K. You need to get over this.
Nobody even understands the context. But listen, I'm not weird, and I need Twitch chat to agree with me. Ryan Reynolds is a very beautiful man, and my sister is a part of the LGBTQ community, but she keeps calling me homosexual for that ideal. And I'm glad I got a homie to like agree with me on that.
here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with saying that a man's attractive, right? Or somebody of your...
It's more than attractive.
There's nothing... Yeah, Overwatch, by the way. But there's nothing wrong with saying that somebody of the gender you're not interested in romantically is attractive. Nothing wrong with that. I used to say a lot of the time, Chris Pratt, very attractive man. He is.
Very.
But there's a line there. You've crossed it.
No, I can't say that line on Twitch, so the line don't exist.
Yeah, but you still crossed it.
I feel like Chloroform's crossed it. He's teabagging.
You can be sick of him. I mean, I would be too, but, you know, it's still funny.
Hey, look, either way, Anguish is... Look, we can't talk about exactly what it is on Twitch chat, but Anguish is agreeing with me, okay? And as we see just the Overwatch moving in, what is one hero that, you know, if you could date, who would it be? For me, it'd be Cassidy, because Matt Mercer is a very beautiful man.
You're not gay.
I'm not gay.
Okay.
It's
So
Matt
what's your
Mercer.
answer?
60 seconds remaining.
I'd wear lipstick for him.
Okay, stop. Let's take. Please give your opinion so you can stop talking.
An Overwatch hero? Oh, gosh. I mean, I'm not gonna say a guy. I have to read. Yeah.
Okay, remove it. Yes.
Fair. I mean, Twitch, I can't hear it, so.
So, here's a question. What do you think was the best change they did in the experimental?
Not knowing much of it, I didn't actually play any of it. I saw the changes, never played it, so it didn't stick. But a couple that I know, I think the Lucio one is pretty nice. Even though I'm not a good Lucio, but
it's still fun.
Just dunking on people is just always a good time. You can get like 2 or 3. I've seen a few flips. I think it's pretty sick.
You know, I think something that we also kind of, I think it's a lot of theorizing as Indigo, once again, they've managed to push it very far but not managed to secure it. If you could add a hero of a specific type, what's an ability pretty much that you want to see?
Score 0
Gosh.
to 2. Switching sides.
It's a tough one. I feel like
Initiating match.
hero type, I would probably add another support. As far as abilities for that support, I don't know. There's just so many things they already have in the game. Really a tough one there.
Yeah, for me, I always felt like a cleansing ability, you know?
Like how they try to do
Yeah.
Fade.
True.
Like
yeah, that
in
could be
the
good.
experimental patches where they would just make it so then fading through people makes it so they're cleansed. Yeah, that's a good.
I mean, you got Zarya Bubble that does that as well.
Yeah, that is another one. Yeah.
I know it's only 2, but you know.
Yeah, and only one is actually in the game, but. So, 5 Moiras, huh?
Listen, 5 more is, it's kind of interesting, you know, I honestly thought Marvin expecting of a kind of formatted thing. I'm more surprised. These have been less chaotic. I think the 3 Bastions work with 2 Baptistes, but I was really expecting like maybe all Pharahs with like 1 Mercy.
Or like 5 Mercies with 1 Pharah, for example. That's another good one.
Yeah, and we got this lone hog. Everybody just wants to play hog.
Reminds me of ranked play, if you ask me.
Oh,
So,
gosh.
here's one that I think is a very interesting question in terms of just Overwatch and its future. What are your opinions? This might get a little bit heated, so please keep your toxic opinions to yourself if you have any. But what are your opinions on 5v5 versus 6v6 for the future of the game? Do you think it's healthy to move on to 5v5, or do you think that it would be better for 6v6?
I mean, I have to play it to see, but I am a fan of the 6v6 just because I guess that's what I've been playing this whole time. I think it works decently well if just make some changes to that, but 5v5 is an interesting way to go about it. So I'm excited to kind of play it if it ever comes out, you know? Excited to play it and try it out though. Kind of cool, hopefully not in a match kind of thing, like some people have said, but
Do you think you might switch your role if that were to come out?
Thought about switching my role this year, or I guess it's next season, but I don't know if I'll do it. I thought about switching to like support, just going from DPS to like flex support. I think I'll end up staying. We'll see. But yeah, I would have liked to play off tank, but in the fear of 5v5 coming, I don't want to play off tank and then get booted to just one tank. So
Going from a off tank to tank is it's definitely something that I personally have some issues with, but I definitely can respect, and honestly, I kind of wish that I had the opinion of gotta play it first. That's something that I thought about, but I can't get over the idea personally. But big respect to you, man. You're very
Bubba?
What's the word? Wait, what
Bubba got pooped on the ground and then is continuing. Like, have you not been watching the game? That is our one
I
job.
have, but I wasn't looking at the name. Like, I mean, I know our job is to talk about the game, but you know, we're going through a very interesting conversation about Overwatch 2.
Hello there.
Very, very fair.
gotta talk about it before it comes out, you know.
It's a really good idea. So, you know, give us your analytical mind. How come these four Moiras, how come they're not winning against the Bastions, you know?
You know, I just feel like, you know, the Discord or the damage orb just doesn't do enough there. 5 damage orbs aren't gonna kill a couple Bastions.
3 tanks.
Oh my gosh. Might be another reason why as well.
Yeah, you know, maybe the fact that, you know, there's one barrier and they're playing the lowest shield damage composition humanly possible, but, you know, pop off, I guess.
I mean, if they can get this first point capped and get the Bastions to kind of move around, maybe they'll win, but
I've lowered damage. They switched Hanzo to Ana. Oh god, poor Potato.
I mean, they got a couple calls coming up. You know,
What?
4 of them.
That is a good point. I just dropped my water bottle. That's a good point. Another thing that you can have a good point in, don't know why I thought about this, but other than Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, what's your favorite Sony movie?
Favorite Sony.
Don't know why I thought. It's here now. Questions arrive.
You know, like it, probably not too much controversy, but I don't watch too many movies, I guess. I do sometimes. Do I keep track if there's Sony? If not, you know, definitely not.
Well, some examples would be like, you know, the Smurfs movies, you know, the very important one, Surf's Up. You know, everybody loves Surf's Up. It's a great movie, but, you know.
It is a good movie.
That's the one with the penguins, right?
Yeah, that's one.
I love that one. Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'll take that one. That's a good recommendation right there.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very good movie. I remember when it came out, it was very much hated at the time. But you know, it's starting to get its fan base built up, and
it's a grower, you know.
Yeah, it's a grower. Don't get me started on movies though. Let's talk about the game again.
Yep. Oh, fair enough. I mean, that's a random transition that you want to be going in. So, you know, we've been talking a lot about very kind of main ideas of Overwatch and on team balance and what do you think makes a formed team. But, you know, I'm more interested on down to the mechanical abilities. Which hero do you think demands the most out of a player?
That's a good question.
I'll go with the DPS just because, you know, play DPS. Definitely not Hanzo, which is who I play, you know, mostly. So,
of course,
I think definitely Symmetra or Tracer. I know Tracer's a lot of fun for a lot of people. I know we played it a lot with the ball, so definitely demands a lot of, you know, chemistry and comms there, working with your ball. We played a lot of ball Tracer, so going in at the same time and be able to capitalize off that, I think that takes a lot as well. I guess heroes in the same situation would be like a Doom, maybe if you're playing like a Genji dive, and just, you know, having that team chemistry and the comms to dive with each other and make good off of it instead of feeding.
I think that Tracer's a fairly uncontroversial pick, but you see Symmetra for that. That's a really interesting point.
Honestly, I just point and click as Symmetra, you know?
I mean, you said
it just works out.
You said Symmetra for hard heroes, and now you just say it's point and click. You're sending some mixed signals here, man.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of heroes. I think there's a lot that don't take any, definitely. But
Going goats? Going goats?
Oh wow.
goats here.
Yeah.
Last map, right?
Yeah, it worked out really well with the last map. I gotta mute. Hang on, user take over.
All right, that's fair enough. I fully respect going out with goats. It's definitely doing well. But what got you into Overwatch actually? Because a lot of the times I think we tend to talk about metas and things, but I'm kind of interested, especially from your team.
I was a console player before. I kind of started late. I didn't play too much on console. Went to PC maybe like season 20 or so. And honestly, it was just like one of the only games I had, so I started playing it. Kind of fell in love. Decided to join comp play, competitive play. Joined a team, and I'm still here. So I'm just kind of riding the wave that I started.
Something I want to bring up just really quickly. OptiBot had a sick dodge on that shatter. If you guys didn't tell, he jumped from a slightly higher position to a lower position, specifically to dodge the shatter. I think that was pretty mechanically cool. But here's another Overwatch related question about you specifically. What meta did you first start playing the game in?
Honestly, I think it was just Brawl, just straight up Brian D.Va, Brian Zarya, just like the Cassidy, now Cassidy was Kree May kind of Brawl. I just played pretty much just a Cassidy main, started there. So I was definitely just like a one character player. But I was also starred in Bronze, so you know.
Yeah. Fair enough, yeah. Oh my god, they're making this comeback, are you kidding me?
Look, it's just what they're being able to do, and being able to get held on that last moment, absolute diff. And you've got to play a little bit in the All-Stars, so which player so far have you think has been doing the best, whether Mimi or like Tryhardy? Who's the best so far in the All-Stars?
I think Bubba's Bubba's in all the maps I play except for the last one, the one before that. I think Bubba's been playing pretty well, for sure. They're up, 3-1, 2-1 on maps, so I'll give it to somebody on their team, I guess. Bubba's been playing well. I think our team, gotta shout out Turtles, late sub, playing really well. I think he deserved it, so.
And one last question that I have, if you have anything after this, user, go ahead. But I think this is a good way to segue off after this, because the map obviously just ended. Who, out of all the teams that you could have gone into in the playoffs, who was scaring you the most, other than obviously Flashbacks? They won 4-0. They're insane. Outside of them, who was the most scary team for you guys?
I think the most scary was, I'm gonna say Chrysalis, just because we did not play them. I know the Poggers did. Poggers are same org as us, so, and they had some struggles with them. So I think that was definitely one we were looking out for, if we ever got that far. And then I'm just gonna throw Frost Nova in there because that's one we didn't think low of, but we definitely didn't think as high of, and they really came out and handed it to us and played really well. So.
It's a fair answer, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess for me is, as my last question, because that was a really good one, Ty, what's a team that you think was maybe underrated? Maybe a team that you saw that definitely you felt deserved more praise?
Definitely Frost Nova toward the end. I'm also going to say Loki. I know a lot of people probably think that as well, but they kind of went from looking like a bottom tier team, and they just stepped it up at the end, made a good push, got a pretty good seed in the playoffs, and played very tough and very well against some bigger teams. So
yeah, they just really had an unfortunate seeding situation where they went into Koala Kings and then immediately into Sky Guardians, I believe it was. So that was just an unfortunate situation from them to go into two of the probably top 5 teams. But yeah, I think that was another really good up-and-comer team, and I'm excited to see if they stick around what they do next season. Yeah, it's a good,
Very much.
agreeable answer.
Yeah, but I think at least for us, because we're getting closer and closer to the end, that's at least for me for the questions.
So thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Stanky Stonky.
Thank you for having me. Hashtag thank you for Stonky. Everybody remember that.
Yep, everybody make sure you get your Twitter out, do hashtag Stanky for Stonky. Ignore literally everything else you've heard tonight, just do that.
Thank you guys for having me.
Hope you have a wonderful night and good luck
Yeah.
in your future endeavors.
Thank you very much. You as well.
You
And
know, it's interesting, Ty,
What's up?
because I want to cut you off for a little second. It's kind of interesting.
What?
You know, these scores, it's almost as if one side is already done, you know, but there's still one more map left.
I mean, it's almost like that, but it's not. So I think that's the coolest part. And what's actually might be even cooler, other than who we're about to bring in, which I totally know, and I'm not just segueing for the booth to tell us.
It's written down, you know that, right?
No, it's not. Who is it? I knew it was going to be Bubba coming in for our final map.
Yep.
And also, the coolest part, I think this is such an interesting thing for an all-star game. It's going to be map 5, Lijiang Tower, where I said this at the start, but just as a refresher, Garden, all DPS. Night Market, all supports. Control Center, all tanks. I think they chose which roles are on which maps perfectly. I think it's going to be a blast to watch. So
I definitely agree. I think there's a lot of things. I think we should often try and challenge the players, and I think All Stars, while yes, it's put into those funds, there are moments where we can challenge these players, especially with these new and kind of strange ideas. So, especially when we get Bubba in, I wonder how that's going to change the way that we start asking these questions and the way we go in, because I don't think it'll change too much, Ty, but I definitely feel it's going to have a change in how these players go in. Yeah, especially since, like, everyone we interviewed is now playing. That's the best part as well.
Oh, yeah. Did I ask? I did ask the wingman question. Okay. Just want to make sure.
It was a really good question, too.
Yes,
you know?
the wingman question is very important for from now on. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing it as well, because unless somebody takes it from me. But
No, why would anyone take your question, especially when
I meant
you're...
cats specifically. But
Oh, fair. Yeah, fair enough, because, you know, this is not going to be the end when it comes down to, you know, what's been going on, as more Tranquility games are going to be happening throughout this week as we wrap up the season.
Yeah, and it's just going to be All-Stars. So once the All-Stars are done, obviously we already know who won on all the playoff games, but you know, this is very important for the ego, for the pride of the players, and also, you know, just for, you know, teams like my team did better than yours in playoffs, or not playoffs, but in the All-Stars. But we're about to be going into Lijiang Tower. We're about to be bringing in Brugga. It was Brugga, right? Or Bubba?
Bubba.
My bad.
The
Sorry.
very talented player, Bubba.
Bubba. Fun fact. I don't know why I forgot, but there's a Jeff Dunham doll. If you don't know, Jeff Dunham's a comedian. He has a doll named Bubba J. So if you're not about to do a southern accent for me, Bubba, I'll be very disappointed.
I'm not.
Oh.
But hey, Bubba, how you doing? Another member of Sky Guardians. It has been a pleasure watching you play in All-Star so far, but I want to get a feel. How has your Tranquility season been?
Amazing. Besides having to play main tank.
And speaking of having to play main tank, you told me that you had to switch roles mid-season. How was that for you?
Pretty difficult. I mean, the Rhine wasn't terribly hard. The Monkey was a little bit harder to get used to. But it was definitely a big change, especially since we were going directly into playoffs, and that loss to Frost Nova immediately.
Yeah.
Like, made me a bit question my faith in it, but I'm happy with my result.
And do you think you're going to be committing onto the main tank or going back to off tank now that the season's over?
I think I'm gonna do a bit of flexing. I'm willing to pull the main tank out of my pocket if I need it, but I'd prefer to stick on the Diva and the Sigma.
I was gonna ask who you missed the most of the off-tank heroes, but you kind of just answered it for me, so that's
Yeah, I've been a diva one trick for like, my entire competitive Overwatch career.
I mean, it's a very powerful. It's always been a very strong hero. There's been a very few points where Diva's really been underpowered. Like specifically during Goats was probably her weakest point towards the end, second half, where you know Sombra Kate started coming in. That's really the weakest she's ever been, I think, in the metagame. Double shield, which is stinky.
Fair enough assumption and all of that, and I definitely got to feel that feeling. So as a player, and especially when you get doubtful in Overwatch, what do you think was one of the defining features that kind of helped you get a bit of confidence and go back in? Was it just going in, seeing how you do, or did your team really help bring you back?
Milo.
All right, well,
it was basically the whole team. It was basically the whole team, but Milo's definitely had a big impact on my love for Overwatch, honestly. Like, it'd be very difficult to find someone that can keep the team as motivated and as happy as he did.
It's always a good trait in the player. You know, we had him. Obviously, we know he was in our interviewee desk where he was crumbling under the pressure. He was bawling his eyes out because I was so scared.
Right.
So, which hero in the game do you think is the most balanced, and who's the one that you want to see reworked the most? Just a question I've asked everybody around to continue the trend.
I don't know, honestly. I feel like I don't see many problems with Rein. Like a decent amount of the tanks are, I think, pretty evenly balanced. Like, I haven't. Obviously, I don't have a huge knowledge over the game, but in my experience, Rein. I mean, there's nothing I can think of that's super overpowered about him.
And then the hero you would most like to rework?
I think there's a lot of heroes that are probably Hanzo.
That's too
I'll join the bandwagon.
Yeah. Did Milo tell you to say that?
He's told me many times about Hanzo, but nah, he didn't tell me.
Hey, that's definitely understandable, and you know, I gotta say, a lot of players, I don't think we often talk about those who help us got our start or really inspired us. So who, maybe within Tranquility or just a friend, a pro player, who's been someone that has been inspiring you to continue improving?
Probably Shromo. He's currently top 500. And he was playing in Tranquility a few seasons back, or at least last season, and I think a few seasons back, but definitely him. Like, it's inspiring to know that he's like about the same age as me, and like he's been coached by the same people, and knowing that I could possibly do the same thing that he did. It's
always a good kind of benchmark, not benchmark, but thing to just, you know, have that person who has been in similar shoes to you to have as like a bench. I guess it is a benchmark for where you want to be. So it's a good thing to think about. I think for a lot of people, especially not just you. You know, it's like I'm just kind of rambling at this point. I feel old.
It's perfectly understandable. But you've been watching, have you been watching these amazing players go out, kind of going back and back?
Is it the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, this game specifically. This Overwatch game.
I've been more focused on the questions.
Well, that's fair enough. So at least in your past matches, who so far do you think in All Stars has been one of those shining players throughout the entire season? Because I know, yes, we had those votes of, but you know, this is like a personal opinion. Who do you think at least did very well, and like you would give them a medal if you could?
Out of All Stars?
Just in general.
Or
You know what? It doesn't have to be, honestly, because there are some very talented players who just didn't get the chance to come in.
I think in All-Stars I would pick Sips T, very underrated. And out of All-Stars, I don't really know, honestly. There's a lot of good players that just weren't on the right team this season. Like, I know FBRD had a horrible season, but there were definitely some players that, like, they took a few maps off of us. They were definitely a good team. They just never got to, they just got in a horrible group stage.
Oh yeah. Just the unlucky circumstances that sometimes happen. Here's another one on a sort of similar note. Rather than respecting a player, who's the team outside of obviously flashbacks, because I need to add a caveat every time. That just looking at the bracket, you're like, please don't put us against them.
There wasn't really a team that we were really afraid of. Like, I really wanted to play, after week 1, I really wanted to play Chrysalis, and God, I wanted to play Miami Yikes since last season ended. But there wasn't really a team that, like, was just super scary. Maybe Palm Beach would have to be the one team that I'd pick if I had to choose.
That's an interesting pick. Most people have said Chrysalis so far, so that's a little bit interesting. Why do you say specifically Palm Beach Puggers? Is there something about them, like,
They did very well during preseason, I remember, and they were a pretty decent team until playoffs. I don't remember what happened during playoffs, but they didn't make it very far.
They did make it decent far. You know, they made it to the loser bracket finals. Just lost to Luminous Foxes, who were a pretty decent team during the season. So, just a situation.
And honestly, just look as these players go in. I've got to say it's fairly impressive. Which has been a player that you've been having so much fun going up against. Whether it's a friend and you guys have like inside jokes, like you're like, hey, good luck, I'm gonna beat you after the match, you know?
Chobi.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Definitely
I
Chobi.
love Shelby.
I think I had a lot of fun during the Miami Yikes game, but that was mostly because I actually won.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess Strix as well, because I know I know most of the players on that team. They were very fun to play against.
So out of all of the players that you could play with, not just in here, just in general, like you can pick an Overwatch League player. You can, if you know a celebrity who plays Overwatch, you can pick them. Who would you drop everything to just play one game of Quick Play or one game of Comp with?
That's a difficult question, honestly. I'm not gonna say someone in Trank because I really Harmony, because I think that'd be a lot easier. Well, if I'm gonna say Trank, I'm gonna say Andy from GDH.
Ooh.
But if it's an Owl / semi-pro like contenders, I'm gonna say Rocket. That man's insane.
I don't know much about Rocket personally, but that's a good pick. More than like, you'd rather play with Rocket over like some sort of celebrity who plays Overwatch? This is an interrogation now.
There really isn't any celebrities that play Overwatch, but if I'm gonna say celebrity, I'd make him the Tatman to come back.
I mean, there's like all the voice actors. There's like Elon Musk has said he plays Overwatch, stuff like that.
Oh god.
Like, you know, I would personally pick the Reinhardt voice actor because that guy is like crazy.
You know, actually, thinking about just Overwatch in general, what has been one of your more favorite comps to work out on your team?
I liked our ball strat on Sky Guardian, mostly because it was a different thing than I had played before. Like, basically been a D.Va one trick the entirety of my competitive career. And like we said earlier, D.Va's just been, it hasn't been a time where D.Va's not, like, I don't know, worth playing. And it's just, basically just a ball comp. Like,
And who do you guys play with the ball? Sigma?
I play D.Va still.
Oh.
It was just a different approach to it. Cause normally in Brawl, obviously you're sticking with your grind, you're pushing in, but on that comp, I've learned to be a more protective D.Va. They've translated that into even Brawl comps where I'm a lot more protective.
That's really why I think D.Va's been meta for so long, because she has those options. Like, she can go in aggressive, she can do that passive play style. That's why she's been so strong. Yeah, that's a really interesting answer to think about. Even though you still were playing the same hero, just was so much different as a play style. Think about it.
You know, definitely fair. And look at this. You know, I think something that we've mentioned at the start of the map, but rather not as it's been going on, is that they've been playing one role. So beforehand it was supports. Right now, they're just playing all tanks. And
I'm enjoying the smoke, Zarya.
Yeah, I'm very interested. Which tank do you feel, at least, is by far the best one to play for you?
Wait, like for me to play?
Yeah.
Zarya, or not Zarya. Actually, I think it's Sig or D.Va. I've noticed I have a better, definitely a better Sig than I do D.Va, but probably D.Va if I had to pick. I think my aim is better on Sig, but that's about it.
Yeah, and Sigma also is just so satisfying. Like hitting the double spheres and then like the rock double sphere melee combo one-shotting, that's so satisfying if you land it.
I love hitting rocks. I hit one on, I hit a spawn one on Chobi on Rialto. I'm very happy.
Yeah, I think that would make anybody here happy.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And ooh, actually, most interesting, I was expecting a lot more pauses throughout the night.
Yeah.
This is actually going to be our first pause, and I guess that happens. You know, I feel like there's a question that we never got to, not really got to ask, but something not a lot of Overwatch players think about. Because at least for me, I don't. We tend to just say, it's better, it's not. But what do you think is the most impactful ability?
Ultimate. I want to make this distinction.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Ultimate. Let's go with ultimate, because ability, that's a whole different thing.
I think it depends on the comp, but it might be, if you can hit it right, might be the Czar, because you can easily, like, combine that with a lot of different ults. Like, Goat's comp, obviously, you could just grab and then use like 5 other ults.
Yeah, throw the kitchen sink into it.
Yeah, and then you get dragons, Tracer, Bap ult it. If you really want to, you can Sig ult it after it's out. Like, there's so much you can do with that.
Here's one that I think is a really interesting one for me especially, because I like, I like to think of, trying to find creative things to just think about with my free time, because a lot of time I'm just thinking to myself. You have the opportunity, Jeff Kaplan has come back to Blizzard. I don't know why I'm using him as an example, but I am. And he's telling you, you have an opportunity to make any concept for a hero that you want. What do you decide to make?
Any time for that? That's a very difficult one. I haven't really thought about that.
So we're gonna put a pin in that, and you'll tell me.
I feel like there's a lot of things you can do, and you have to be careful with it. Like, I've had
dude,
a lot of experience
Careful.
with bad,
Go in,
bad
dude.
heroes.
Forget being careful. This isn't getting added to the game. Just go crazy.
Well,
Yeah, like
like,
I like to think like a cleanse ability for me.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't wanna, cause I feel like I'd make something that's just. You guys have played Rainbow Six, right?
Yeah.
At least heard of Lion.
Well, at least I
broken
have.
He was. I feel like that's how bad of something I would make. I don't know.
Well, that's a question I'll leave for the people in chat to think about. You know, what would you do for an Overwatch concept? If you have any ideas you think are genuinely good, let me know, and I'll one-up you with my idea. But it's a good thought experiment, I think.
I agree.
Yeah, but at least for me, I don't have any more questions. Ty, do you have anything last Overwatch question back inside your brain?
All right, here's one for you, Bubba. Which map of Overwatch is the only one to have a statue with eyelashes?
I'm gonna say Volk.
He gets it, chat. He does it. He knows it. You are the first person to get that question correct all night. Congratulations. Your award is my heart and soul. How do you feel?
GG easy. Better than Milo.
This is why Bubba's one of my favorite players. Definitely agree. But you're pretty much to go enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you so much for joining. An absolute blast to have a talk with you.
Alright. You guys have a good night.
You as well. Thank you so much for popping in.
And Ty, you know, is quite interesting. This is the end, at least for this tier. And I gotta say, I've been loving Harmony throughout this entire season.
Yeah, and I know we didn't do a lot of actual in-game casting tonight, but just watching the gameplay, I think that was such a nice bow to wrap on this season for Harmony, and I hope that the rest of the All-Star games can be just as good as this one was, because this one was so chaotic. It was so much fun. I loved watching it. I love just, you know, interviewing people with the nice gameplay in the background as well. And I
gotta agree. These players are just really infectious too. You know, I think that's just that tranquility, you know, membership that they get when they play in here. You know, they just all become very interesting. It's hard to focus when they're around, I gotta admit.
Yeah, especially Milo.
I love talking to Milo, but honestly, at least while this may be the end for Harmony tier, this is not the end for Tranquility, as we still have 2 more games for 2 different tiers, 2 different All-Stars, and it's going to be absolutely great. I'd highly recommend checking it out, because people like Joe God, Captain Jack, even Ty might be able to come back in, show up, and it's going to be a blast. You know, if you're interested in keeping up to date with that, I'd recommend hitting that heart. You can hit the bell, which will make sure that you have notifications on, the heart to follow. You can follow the Twitter to get notifications, the Discord to join the community, and find out when to compete next season. Who knows? Either way, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. At least, if I could ask for anything, make sure you check out Booth, who has done an amazing job of making sure that Ty knows who we're talking to, and, well, everything's being set up, prepared, and streamed. Ty, do you have any lasting comment before, you know, actually you wrap it up, Ty. I've never given you that chance.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. But everybody, thank you so much for coming out. Everybody who was interviewed, thank you for stopping by. We really appreciate that. And I really appreciate you guys showing off your personalities and also how you're British on stream. It's very impressive that you'd be so brave to show off that you are British, especially. That's the most important thing. But I hope you all have a wonderful night. I've been Ty Munster, joined here by...
Well, user intel.
Yeah, there we go. And I hope you all have a wonderful night, and make sure you're stopping in tomorrow and Thursday. It's tomorrow, Thursday.
気になる